Welcome to the Dowden Podcast. I'm your host, the official CRG, and today we are going to talk about how I shifted my mindset from being a follower to a leader and why it is so crucial for that overall growth. But before we get started, make sure to leave a like and subscribe down below. That way you don't miss any weekly episodes and posts. You can find video of this episode strictly on YouTube, but the audio everywhere else. Now, when it comes to shifting your mindset from being a follower to a leader, this is absolutely crucial for that overall growth because when you're in that follower mindset, more than likely you aren't applying yourself to the task at hand. You aren't striving for your dreams. You're living for other people. You're worried about what's going on outside of social media or what really has nothing to do with you because you're following, because it's easier to do it that way, right? And I understand because I was there. And we're going to get to that a little bit later. But when you're in that follower mindset, it literally hinders everything because you aren't exploring. Like we said, you're not applying yourself. You're not getting out of that comfort zone because you're staying locked in and doing what everybody else is around you. But if you can find a way to then shift your mentality to that leader mindset, you will start to see that growth because you're then taking control, because you're not worried about what everybody else is doing around you. You don't feel the need to follow the trends, to follow in their footsteps when they do bad things, because I was there. I was doing those things. And even 3 to 4 years ago, like genuinely, I was a follower. When it came to people around me, I was just doing what they were doing because not only did I think it was not in a sense cool, but because that's the only thing I knew, because I felt like that's where I just fit in the most, and because of that, I started crashing out. I started skipping school. I started getting in trouble. And then I finally realized, like, hey, you have to shift this mentality. Like, if you don't take control, you literally aren't going to end up anywhere. Because, like we said, when you're a follower, you're not living your own life. Like, you're doing everything else for everybody. Like, you're worried about their problems. You're worried about social media. You're trying to save everybody at work or any friends, they're coming to you. But when do you take care of you? When do you put yourself first? When do you say, you know what? My mental health isn't good right now. Let me go do something about it. Or, you know what? I need a break. I am stressed out. When do you ever take that time for you? And that's what that leader mindset does. It lets you take control. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that being a follower is going to take you down the exact same road, that it did with me, but it very well could. You could be a crash out because that's all you know, because you're stuck in that mentality. But if you're stuck with anything, like if you feel like you aren't really living your life or things are going day by day, you're tired of not paving that own road because it's easy to just do what everybody else is doing. It's easy to wake up and go to a 9 to 5, come home, go to bed, and call that your life. That is easy. But what isn't easy is to be a leader, take control, go to that 9 to 5, and then build a business. Go to that 9 to 5 and then go home and work out and do sports. Go to that 9 to 5 and do all this extra stuff. That's not easy. That's where that leader mindset comes really in control, because as a follower, you're not going to want to do that because you want to do what everybody else is doing, what your friends are doing. You want to go home and party after school or go skip or go do stuff. That's what I wanted to do. But there's a point in your life where you're going to realize that you have to take control. Save yourself some of that pain, save yourself that struggle, and just learn to start and develop that mindset. It's not easy. It takes time just like everything else. So go ahead and start right now. So, if you are stuck in that follower mindset and you are just ready for that shift, you're ready for that change, then you need to start challenging yourself. Start getting rid of those friends that are holding you down. Start getting out of these situations. Start motivating yourself. Learn discipline. You have to change your mind in order to change your life. Okay, you have to start to take control, because when you are in that follower mindset, you are not going to apply yourself. You are just going to do what everybody else does. So start being a leader, start paving the way. Stop worrying about what others are going to say. Stop worrying about the what ifs and just go ahead and get your foot in the door. If you want to be a streamer, buy some streaming equipment so now every time you look at it, you know that you have to keep going. Start motivating yourself. Don't hold yourself back with whatever it is, because I promise you, I genuinely promise you, if you apply yourself and you do not give up, you can make anything happen. So please change your mindset. Stop being a follower and start applying yourself. Start living your life and take control. But with that said, today's quote is by George Bernard Shaw. He once said, "Progress is impossible without change, and those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything." I appreciate you tuning in. You can follow us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And this is the Dowden Podcasts.